shit. I want to make a lot of money. I want to make big fights, man. Like, I want big fights. I want to headline cards. Like, that's always the goal. To headline cards, be the main event, sell out arenas. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to win titles for sure. I mean, I love this sport,
Welcome back to Outside the Stadium. We are here today with UFC middleweight and maybe UFC welterweight, Andre Petroski. Andre, how's it going tonight?
Good. Everything's good, man. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. So I have to ask you first, like, you could not have scripted a more perfect start to your UFC career. You hit the UFC apex, you get a finish. You hit Abu Dhabi, you get a finish. Was this better than expected, as you expected? What were the emotions going through you as you racked off these W's to start off your career?
Well, I knew that I thought that I would finish Gilmore. I didn't think that I would end up fighting Gilmore on the finale, on that card, but I did think that I could finish him. And then, I mean, when they offered me Yao Zing, I thought for sure that I could finish him. No, yes and no. I expected to finish them both, to be honest. But, yeah, I mean, it's been a good start. It definitely has.
For sure. So, I mean, I have to ask because, the general path using the Ultimate Fighter is, you win and you're in. How did it taking that loss and bouncing back from a mental perspective?
Yeah, like I remember when I first got sober, I think that it's like in the same aspect of like, kind of like when you're coming off a loss where there's so much like opportunities for growth and it's like a slap in the face kind of. It's like, look, you need to reevaluate your life or reevaluate, how you're getting ready for this fight. And like, it's laid out right in front of you of like, here's X, Y, and Z. Here's X, Y, and Z of like how we can get better.
Yeah, for sure. Because and I don't mean to say you're not talented, but when you watch a fighter like you see a certain refinement in their game, in their technique. That's not just, natural born talent. That takes years and years and years of practice. So I know you have a daughter, but obviously you started your mixed martial arts, your combat sports career way, way earlier. Where do you draw that motivation and that drive to, every single day, wake up, grind, do the same thing, without getting that, instant gratification that is sometimes needed?
To be honest, man, like I really just don't know anything else, for one. Two, like, I mean, I definitely go through phases where like I'm not as motivated. Like for me, like when I have a fight coming up, like then it's easy to be in the gym and like, I mean, I love being in the gym regardless. I love doing jujitsu and I love certain things. Other workouts I don't necessarily love. Like if I don't have a fight coming up, like it's hard for me to get up and run in the morning, you know what I mean? And put those miles in. But, if I have a fight, it's easy. You know what I mean? The motivation's there. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm like Superman and I'm always motivated, blah, blah, blah. As far as like being in the gym and training and like I've been doing, this is all I know. Like I've been doing this for a long, long time.
For sure. But you said it yourself right after the Gilmore fight. You didn't have a fight booked, but hey, I'll be back in the gym on Monday. So for the common folk, for the everyday folk like me who went, maybe I don't want to work out tomorrow morning. Maybe I don't want to go through a certain thing. Discipline wise, how do you push yourself to just do it when you don't want to do it?
Honestly, it's like medicine to me, to be honest. Like if I don't do it, like I don't feel right. You know what I mean? Like I don't really like I got to do something. Like I'm a restless dude. Like I got to be doing something. And I love doing jiu-jitsu. I love working out. So for me, like, it's like a no-brainer. Like, what else am I going to do? You know what I mean?
For sure. And listen, I mean, I'm a self-improvement nut. I get caught up on these things, but let's move on. Let's move on to the fight talk. First of all, I have to ask, you said you can make middleweight and you can make welterweight. Do you have any idea of where you want to go? Do you want to go like a Khamzat Chimaev style? Hey, I'll take whatever fight makes sense, whether it be one or the other, or do you want to make a run in a certain division?
So right now, like, I just want to fight. Like, I think I learn something every time I fight. I keep getting better every time I fight. So my only goal right now is to keep fighting. If I would to go down to 170, like if there was an opportunity that was presented to me, I would definitely go down to 170 that I couldn't say no to, like a great opportunity, I would do it. But it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks for me to get down. Whereas, like right now, I like being in the position where I can accept short notice fights. I can fill in. I like that. And I think that that's in a position right now where, that's the best thing for me.
Yeah, totally understand. And you're checking off bucket list item after bucket list item in the UFC. So talk about, I mean, you've had enough time to digest now goals going forward in the UFC. What's your plan for the next 2-3 years? What do you want to do in this organization?
I want to make a lot of money. I want to make big fights, man. Like, I want big fights. I want to headline cards. Like that's always the goal. To headline cards, be the main event, sell out arenas. Like that's what I want to do. I want to win titles for sure. I love this sport,
Yeah, I absolutely love it. That's what the fans love as well. We love to see those bangers, those fights that you don't forget. So, I mean, in my personal opinion, this was the best season of The Ultimate Fighter yet, the return of The Ultimate Fighter. Could you talk about what it was like, not only the experience on the show, but working with someone like Brian Ortega and just, getting that day-to-day time and experience with someone who's already at the top of the UFC?
Ortega was super cool. Rener Gracie was awesome to work with. I mean, honestly, Ortega's got a good group of guys with him, coaching him. It was awesome, man. Like, all your problems are removed from you. You have nothing else to worry about. Like, your only job is to wake up, show up to practice, and get better. And, like, dude, that's like, if you're focused, you're going to get better. Like, with those coaches, dude, I would get 2-hour privates with Rener Gracie every day. Like, and I would I asked him, I was like, hey, like, if you came to Philly for a seminar, like, what would I have to do? And he was like, dude, 2-hour blocks. He's like, I need 100 kids in each block, $100. Like, it was like 35 grand is like what he would normally make. And I'm like, dude, I'm getting 2-hour privates with this guy every day, like for free. I felt like I was in a really good position.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And it sounds like you definitely took advantage of that incredible opportunity. So,
Yeah.
I just saw your picture flash across the screen. Do you want to maybe talk about your food interest? Are you a foodie? It looks like you got some good food there on that screen.
Yeah, shout out to Performance Meal Prep. They sponsor me and hook me up with the meals. So check them out. They got really good gourmet meals. I've had a couple other food prep sponsors, but they're definitely the best.
Awesome. So, I mean, before we let you go, I love to ask this to the fighters, and especially someone like you who, we've seen grinding the octagon, both in The Ultimate Fighter and on Saturday nights. Tell the fans, tell the followers something that, not a fighter, something about your personality, something about you as a person outside the octagon. What would they maybe be surprised to know about you?
I don't know, man. I think I'm like a pretty easygoing guy. Like I don't really mind. Like, I kind of like when people make fun of me. Like, I'm pretty easygoing. I don't know. That's all I got.
Good enough. Good enough. So listen, call your shot, man. At what date and what year will Andre Petroski be wearing a UFC belt around his waist?
By the end of 2022.
By the end of 2022. That is ambitious. That means we're going to see you fighting ASAP back in the octagon. Am I right?
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Just waiting for that call?
That's it.
Awesome. I can't wait. And I'm looking forward. Once again, this is Andre Petroski, UFC. Well, he's on short notice, so we'll call him a UFC middleweight now. Andre, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No doubt.